Okay, so got it.
A warm welcome, dear audience. Here we are again in another professional masterclass with another eminent, dynamic, and fantabulous icon, um, a woman leading life by example for everyone else to follow. She is Dr. Marites Dimano Olia. She's from Philippines. She is a dedicated, resourceful, and goal-oriented educator with a solid commitment to the social and academic growth and development for quality education. At present, she is the president of International Organization of Educators and Researchers, IOER, the Organization of Eminent Educationists, Researchers, and Professionals across the globe. She is the chief editor of Asia Pacific Journal of Advanced Education and Technology, APJAET, associate editor of IOER, International Multidisciplinary Research Journal, IIMRJ, Dean, Faculty of Executive MBA, World University of Leadership and Management, Nepal. She finished a degree in Doctor of Philosophy of Education, majoring in Educational Management in Philippines. Without much ado, I would like to invite our Honorable Dr. Marites to present her professional masterclass. Welcome, dear.
Hello, good evening, good morning to everyone and to all listeners. A pleasant good day. So thank you, Elegant Empire, for the opportunity to share my insight about the topic for research, design, and methods. Okay, so I will start to share my screen.
Please carry on.
So it is visible.
Yes, it's
Okay. So our topic for today is about research. Okay, so when we say research, it is described as the methodological and systematic inquiry process that aim to thoroughly exploring and unraveling a specific themes or issue. So this meticulous technique includes the detailed data collecting, the rigorous analysis, and intelligent interpretation with the goal of delving deeply into the complexities of a specific topic of study. So by using the recognized research techniques, the investigators can reach the relevant understanding that adds greatly to the existing knowledge base. So the commitment to methodological inquiry serve as the foundation for progress and guiding advances in the science, technology, social sciences, and other fields. So the scholar foster collaboration and innovation while catalyzing positive societal change by disseminating meticulously the obtained insight. So that is research. So what else? So according to this study, research is a careful consideration of study regarding a particular concern or research problem using the scientific methods. And according to the American sociologist Earl Robert Bobby, research is systematic inquiry to describe, explain, predict, control the observed phenomenon. So it involves the inductive and deductive methods. And when we say inductive method, it analyze an observed event, while deductive method verify the observed event. So, inductive approaches are associated with the qualitative research, and deductive methods are more commonly associated with the quantitative analysis. So that is research. Okay, so we have different types of research. First is the fundamental research. So in fundamental research, it is also known as the basic theoretical research, and it is designed to help the researcher better understand certain phenomena in the world. So it looks at how things work, but does not seek to find how to make them work better. So for example, so in fundamental research, a firm investigates how various product placement influence product sales. So this study offers information and it is a knowledge base. That is the fundamental research. Okay, so another type of research is the applied research. So in the applied research, it is designed to identify the solution to specific problems or find answer to particular questions. And it offers the knowledge that is applicable and implementable. So example of the applied research is a doctoral student in education investigate the strategies for increasing student participation in the classroom. So this study focused on the specific topic and it is a solution oriented. So that is in applied research. So another type of research is the action research. So in action research, it refers to the examining action, so assessing their effectiveness in bringing about the desired outcome and choosing a course of action based on those results. So it is typically used in educational settings for teachers and principals to perform a type of self-assessment and course correction. So the example of action research is a teachers gather information regarding their approach for teaching the fifth or fourth grade in math. So at the end of the first school quarter, they determined that just 33% of their students were proficient in that topic. So as a result, the teachers implement new methods for the second quarter. So that is the action research. Another type of research is the causal research. So this type of research, it also called the explanatory research. So it seeks to determine the cost and effect relationship between the variables. And it identifies how much variable might cost or change in the other. So the causal research is important for evaluating the current processes and procedures and determining if how changes should take place. So example of the causal research is a company compares employee retention rates before and after implementing the work from home policy after 6 months of employment and to discover if the technique improves employee retention. So that is the causal research. Another type of research is the classification research. So in this type of research, it seeks to identify and classify individuals or elements of group into a larger groups or the subgroups. So example of this classification research is researchers study an animal's species. So placing them in and define the categories based on their shared characteristic. And what are those characteristics, such as the body segment, the type of their habitat, the reproductive method, and the diet? So that is the example of the classification research. Another type of research is the comparative research. And comparative research, it identifies similarities and differences between individuals, subject, or groups. So example of the comparative research is a company owner, like for example, check news circuit of the training materials and realize that the new employees receive much of the same information during orientation and initial department training. So the owner of the company consolidates a material into a single session to make more time for the department specific training. So that is the example of the comparative research. Another type of research is the cross-sectional research. Okay, so in cross-sectional research, or it is called as the synchronous, it is a research studies a group or subgroup at one point in a time. So in the cross-sectional research, the participants are generally chosen based on a specific shared characteristic, such as their age, their gender, their income, and researchers examine the similarities and differences between the two groups. So the group is often used as a representation of a larger population. So example of this cross-sectional research is a corporation, like for example, a corporation examine the sales strategies of its top 10% of the salespeople and compares them to those of the bottom of the 10%. So this provides the organization knowledge into the most successful and least successful sales strategy. So that is in the cross-sectional research. So another type of research is the deductive. So in the deductive research, it is known as the theory testing research. It is the opposite of the inductive research and moves from broad to the specific. So the researchers choose a hypothesis and test its accuracy through the experimentation and observation. So the example of this deductive research is the researcher, like for example, discovered that 12 or 15 international firms implemented in-house carbon emissions regulation in the same year. So they do the deductive research to compare worldwide emission levels before and after the policies were implemented. So that is the deductive research. Okay, another types of research is the exploratory. So in the exploratory research, it examines what is already known about the topic and what additional information may be relevant. So it rarely answer a specific question, but instead present the foundational knowledge of a subject as a precursor to the further research. So often, exploratory research is applied to lesser known issues and phenomena. And the example for this exploratory research is consider what is now known about the effectiveness of a year-long maternity and paternity leave programs. So your study will involve obtaining all essential materials and compiling it in accessible way that was not previously available. So your findings may identify the knowledge gap, the prompting new research in the future. So that is the exploratory research. Okay, and another type of research is the field. So the field research. So we have different types of research. So the field research is, of course, wherever the participants or the subject are on location. That is field research. So this type of research requires the on-site observation and data collection. So the researcher need to be there in the location where the study will be tested. So like for example, in the field of research is a manufacturing business employs an environmental engineering firm to assess the plant's air quality to verify it meets federal health and safety standards. So the researcher, of course, visit the plants to collect the sample. So that is the field research. Okay, another type of research is the fix. Okay, so the fix research involves the procedures determined ahead of time, such as how often testing will take place, where it take place, so the number of subject and their types. So this research depends on the precise conditions and compliance with the predetermined protocols to reduce variables. And experimentation is often as the fixed research. So example of the fixed research is the researchers aims to see how different levels of influence consumer ratings of sports drinks. So the participants are given the same drinks with different labels and asked to complete survey regarding their flavor and overall thoughts about the drink. So the timing of its drink and subsequent survey is essential to the study's validity. So that is the PICS research. So another type is flexible. So flexible research is allows procedure to change throughout the course of the experiment. So the different types of flexible research include the case study. So case studies are in-depth analysis and observation about a specific individual subject. So like for example, in the case study is a physician uses the case study methodology to follow the patient through their symptoms, treatment, and their recovery. So that is the sample of the case study research. And another is the ethnographic studies. So in the ethnographic studies, these are the in-depth analysis and observation about the group of people. Okay, so another is the grounded jury studies. So in grounded jury studies, these are designed to develop juries based on carefully collected and analyzed data. Okay, so another types of research is the inductive research. So the inductive research, also known as the jury building research, and it collects data that might help develop a new theory about the process of phenomenon. So it examines observation and patterns and offers several hypotheses to explain this pattern. And the example of this inductive research is, like for example, the researcher discovered when 12 multinational firm implemented in-house carbon emission standard in the same year. So and then global emission fell. So according to the study or to the expert, so imposing in-house emission regulation by multinational firms might dramatically reduce the global emission. So that is the example of the inductive research. Okay, another type is the laboratory research. So in laboratory research, it occurs in a controlled laboratory rather than in the field. So often the study demands strict adherence to certain conditions such as eliminating variables or timing conditions. So the laboratory research includes the chemical experimentation and pharmacological research. And the example for this laboratory research is a pharmaceutical company investigate, like for example, a novel medicine recipe to see if it can treat, like for example, cancer or diabetic person or patient. So before proceeding to the next phase, researchers carefully monitor the chemical interaction in the laboratory. So that is the sample of the laboratory research. And another types of research is the longitudinal research. So it focuses on how certain measurement change over time without manipulating any determining variables. So here are the types of the longitudinal research. It includes the trend study. So in trend study, the researcher or this research examine population and characteristic over time. And another is the cohort study. So in cohort study, so this research traces the subpopulation over time. And in panel study, research traces the same sample over time. So example of this is a researcher examine if and how employee satisfaction changes in the same employees after 1 year, 2 years, 5 years with the same company. So that is the sample of the longitudinal research. And another types of research is the mixed or the mixed method research. So the mixed research includes, it is the combination of qualitative and the quantitative data. So the results are often presented in the mixed research as the mix of graphs, words, and images. So that is the a mixed method research. And example of this mixed method research, a vehicle manufacturer, like for example, requests to the purchaser a complete survey about purchasing red and white Ford Everest. So inquiries focus on how much the color of that car influenced their selection, among other opinion based on their inquiries. So that is the mixed research method or research. So another types of research is the policy research. So in the policy research, so policy research examine the effect of current government or social policy or predict the potential effect of proposed policies related to the distribution sources. So the example of this policy research, like for example, an agency may conduct a study to determine how the vaccination distribution policy might affect the rural residents. So like for example, the outcome might change if the government establish the pre-shot clinics in the rural area. So that is the policy research. So another type of research is the qualitative research. So in qualitative, so it involves the non-numerical data. So it includes only the opinions, literatures. So it uses description in the qualitative research. So to obtain the meanings, feelings involved in the situation. So in business research, business often use the qualitative research to determine the consumer opinion and reaction. So in qualitative research, it is more on interview, survey. So example, in this qualitative research is a marketing firm show the new commercial, like for example, new commercial to focus the group before airing it publicly to solicit the comments. So to make decision of this in this qualitative research, so the company collect the non-numerical data such as focus group discussion to the participants and collect their opinion. So that is in the qualitative research. So another is the quantitative research. So in quantitative research, it depends on numerical data. So there are lots of numbers in quantitative research, such as the use of statistics, measurement, to investigate questions like who, what, where, or when. So in this quantitative research, the results are usually presented using the table and graph. Like for example, in quantitative research, the car manufacturer, example, compare the amount of sales. So the comparison between the sales of red sedan or to the white sedan. So the research draw findings based on the objectives data. So they look for the sales figure for the red sedan and the white sedan. So that is the quantitative research. Okay, so now let's proceed to the research design. So when we say research design, it is a plan or framework used to conduct a research study. So it involves the outlining the overall approach and method that we'll use to collect and analyze data in order to answer the research question or test the hypothesis. So here are the research design elements. So in this figure, you will see the element of research design. So in the center, you will see the research design, the clear purpose. So in clear purpose, so the research question or hypothesis must be clearly defined and focused in the research. Another is the sampling. So another element of research design is sampling. So in the sampling, so this includes the decision about the sample size, okay, the sampling method, the criteria for inclusion or the exclusion, and the approach in the sampling is different, is varies for the different research design or type. So another element is the data collection. So in this part, so the data collection, so the research in the data collection, so the element involves in the process of the gathering data or information from the study of the participant sources. So it includes in the data collection the decision. Okay, so the decision about what data to collect, okay, how to collect it, and the tools or instrument that will be used in the data collection. So another is okay. Okay, another is the data analysis. So in this element of research design in data analysis, so all research design types require analysis and interpretation of the data collected. So the research design element include the decision about the statistical test or method that will be used to analyze the data, and as well as any compounding variable or biases that may need to be addressed. So another type or another design, research design, is the types of research and methodology. So in this element, so this includes the decision about the overall approach of the study in the type of research methodology. And of course, it is important, the time frame in research design. So an important research design element is the time frame, which includes the decision about the duration of the study. Like for example, your study is up to 6 months, 3 months, or 1 year. So the timeline for data collection and data analysis and follow-up periods. And another important is the ethical consideration in the research design. So in the ethical consideration, so the research design must include okay. So in the ethical consideration, so the research design must include the decision about what ethical consideration you may use in your research. It includes your decision about, like for example, the informed consent, such as confidentiality, and also the participant protection. And another is the resources. So that is the last element, design. So resources, good research design takes into account decision about the budget. So you need the budget, the staffing, and other resources needed to carry out the study. So this element of research design should be carefully planned and executed to ensure the validity and reliability of your study or your research. Okay, so there are different types of research design. As you can see in the pictures, there are two types of research design, the qualitative and the quantitative research design. So in qualitative research design, it is subjective and exploratory. So it determines the relationship between collected data and observation in the qualitative design. So it is usually carried out through the interview with the open-ended question, the observation that are described in words. And this one, the quantitative research design, is objective, and it employs the statistical approach. So it establishes the cost and effect relationship among the variables, and using the different statistical and computational methods. So this type of research is usually done using the survey and experiment. So that is the two types of research design. Okay, so the qualitative research design, so there are types of qualitative research design. First is the grounded theory. So in grounded theory, this design is used to investigate questions that have not previously been studied in depth. So also referred to as exploratory design. So it creates sequential guidelines, offers strategies for inquiry, and makes data collection and analysis more efficient in qualitative research. So example in grounded theory is a researcher, like for example, wants to investigate how individual embrace the particular app in their cell phone. So the researcher obtained data by interviews and analyze it to seek for a pattern. So these patterns are utilized to create a theory about how users embrace the new app in the cell phone or the new app. So another is the qualitative, that is qualitative research design. Another type is the thematic analysis. So in the thematic analysis, this design is used to compare the data collected in past research to find similar themes in the qualitative research. So example of this thematic research is, like for example, the researcher study an interview transcript to uncover similar themes such as the subject or pattern that emerge again. So that is the thematic analysis. Okay, so another qualitative research design types is the discourse analysis. So in discourse analysis, this research design deals with the language or social context used in the data gathering in qualitative research. And example for the quality of the discourse analysis is the researchers studies an interview transcript to uncover similar themes such as the subject or pattern that emerges again. So that is the example of the discourse analysis. Another type of quantitative research design is the descriptive research. So in descriptive research, so this quantitative research design is applied where the aim is to identify the characteristic, the frequencies, trends, and categories. So it might not often begin with the hypothesis. So example, so the basis of this descriptive research design type is description of the identified variable. So the research design type describe the what, the when, okay, where, how of the phenomena, but not a why. So example of the descriptive research design is the study on the different income levels of people who use the nutritional supplement regularly. So that is the sample for the descriptive research design. Another type of quantitative research design is the correlational research. So correlational research reflects the strength or direction of the relationship among variables, and the direction of a correlation can be positive or negative. So in the correlational research design, it helps researchers establish the relationship between the two variables without researcher controlling any of them. Example is the correlational research design could be studying the correlation between the time spent watching, like for example, the crime show and the aggressive behavior of it to the teenagers. So that is the example of the correlational research design. Another type is the quantitative research design. So another type of quantitative research design is the diagnostic research design. So in the diagnostic research design, the researcher aims to understand the underlying cause of a specific topic of phenomenon. So it usually an area of improvement and find the most effective solution. So in simpler terms, a researcher seeks an accurate diagnosis of a problem and identifies a solution. So example is a researcher analyzing customer feedback and review to identify the areas where an app can be improved. Okay, so another quantitative research design is the explanatory research. So in this part, in explanatory research design, the researcher uses their ideas and thought on a topic to explore their theories in more depth. So this design is used to explore a phenomenon when limited information is available. And example for this design is the formulating hypothesis to guide the future studies on delaying the school start times for better mental health for the teenagers. So another is the causal. So already mentioned this before. So causal, this can be considered as the type of the explanatory research. So the causal research seek to define the cause and effect in its data. And example for this, another example is comparing the school dropouts level and the possible bullying effect for the school dropout. Another is the experimental design. So this research design is used to study the causal relationship. So one or more independent variables are manipulated and their effect on one or more dependent variable is measured. So example of this experimental research design is determining the efficacy of, like for example, the new vaccine or the new vaccine for the threat for the influenza or the colds. So that is the experimental research. And now let's proceed to the research methods. That is the last part of our topic. So research methods is these are the techniques and procedure used to collect and analyze data in order to answer the question and test a research hypothesis. Okay, so in this picture, you will see the common type of research method. So this one is the survey. So first, survey. So the survey are the type of research method that involve collecting data from the large number of people through the questionnaire or interviews. So the survey are often used to gather information, like for example, about the attitude, the beliefs, and behavior of the participants of the study. So that is the survey method. And another research method is the experiment. So in this method, experiment are types of research method that involve in manipulating one or more variables in order to observe the effect on another variables. So the experiment are often used to test the cost and effect relationship. That is the other research method. And another type of research method is the case studies, of course. So the case studies are types of research method that involve in-depth examination of a single individual, groups, or event. And the case studies are often used to gather the detailed information about the specific phenomenon. So that is the another type of research method. Okay, another one is the observation. So this is another research method. So the observation are the type of research method that involve in watching, recording the behavior of individual or group or the participants in the study. So the observation are often used to gather information about the naturalistic behavior of the person or group of person that is involved in your study. And the other one is the content analysis. So in content analysis, another research method is this type of research method involves in analyzing, interpreting written or spoken text. So the content analysis is often used to analyze the large amount of data such as news, articles, and FB posts or other media posts. That is the content analysis. Okay, and another research methods is the historical. So in historical research, it is the type of research method that involves in studying the past through the examination of primary and secondary sources such as documents, okay, the artifacts, and other old photographs. That is the historical research method. Okay, so these are my references for my talk. So thank you everyone for listening. Thank you, Dr. Esther Mala from An Elegant Empire for the opportunity to share my insight in your platform.
Thank you, dear. Thank you, dear. I know you had a very busy day, but I really admire your energy. Your presentation is so detailed, very presentable, and well articulated. Excellent session today. I learned a lot from you, and I'm looking forward to review again your presentation. It's so interesting,
Yeah, thank you.
so pleasant to the eyes. Some presentation slides are very dull. Sometimes you don't have the mood to continue, but yours is so effective and so pleasant for the eyes. Dear, thank you so much, dear, for
Thank
your
you.
excellent work. And dear researchers, PhD students out there, these Dr. Merites have casted a lot of gems for us to pick up. Please watch with us on YouTube. Okay. And I wish to thank you again for your precious time. And I wish to thank Dr. Marites again, in spite of a busy schedule. I tell you, she's so busy. I dare not even text her, and she still spent her time whenever I invite her. She never said no. I really admired that support for me, and I will always be there to support her. Anyway, have a great day, and till we meet again in another amazing topic from Dr. Marites and other master trainers. Thank you, dear all.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. So how to text a stop it?
Okay, now
Let
it's
me
all